I love
Toy Story.
Gosh, I love
The first one.
I love
The second one.
And I love
the third one. And what is the first thing I said walking out of Toy Story 4?
You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
It has been almost 25 years since the first Toy Story movie was released in theaters back in 1995, and that is insane. This is one of the longest running and honestly most consistent franchises of all time. I grew up with this series. I know my brother says, that he loves these movies, and he definitely does, but I also grew up because my brother loved them so much and because he made me watch them with him all the time. I grew up with these movies just as much as he did, as much as so many countless amount of people did throughout the entire past 25 years. I grew up with these movies. I love them. There's no other franchise that Pixar has made that has been this emotionally impactful to me. And as you can see, I have the Toy Story 3 poster up here because Toy Story 3 is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 5, which some people might think is insane, but it's the saddest movie I've ever seen, but it's also one of the funniest and one of the best packages you can possibly watch. And after 9 years, of course, I was nervous about this movie coming out, considering how great of an ending Toy Story 3 was. And I think still to this point, it is a fantastic ending, just not in the way that we initially thought. Now, if you listen to any of the interviews with the director, or really anybody that had anything to do with making this movie, they all say the same thing, which was, why did they decide to make this movie? What is the reason for this movie's existence, and should it have been made? And I think 100% yes, because the first one really was, as they pitched in the meetings and in the interviews, was this is the ending of Woody's story. Not necessarily just the ending of Andy's story with Woody, which was the third Toy Story movie, but really his entire arc has all led to this point in the series. So to jump right into everything that I love about this movie is, of course, Tom Hanks as Woody is perfect. I love this character ever since the first movie. And yes, he was kind of an ass in that first movie, but that was the point. It's the growth that he has gone through. And with all these characters, and with Andy now being gone out of the picture, this is a really different and just really important struggle that Woody has to get past in this movie. And I think it is very well done. Definitely the most emotionally just crushing part of this movie is what Woody goes through in this movie, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. And he's reunited with a long-lost friend, Bo Peep, who I thought was great in this movie as well. They brought back the actress, they explained her disappearance in the great opening scene. I loved the opening, 10 minutes of this movie. I thought it was perfect. And also, the animation that first 10 minutes with the rain. Honestly, here's the thing about the animation in Toy Story movies. We started off in 1995. It was the very first full feature-length 3D animated movie of all time. It's the first one that ever did it. Pixar is the one who invented the technology. They put it all together. They made Toy Story, and then they went to the second one, which if you watch all 4 of the movies back to back to back to back, like I just did today, you can really see the progression over the 25 years of animation and the technology that they are able to achieve. And that first 15 minutes you see with the rain, it really feels like there are these animated toys in a real live-action world. That's how real the animation has gotten with the water and the rain going down the side drain. Everything about this movie just looked beautiful. And this movie does a great job at introducing a bunch of these new toys into the Toy Story world, with Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key voicing these brand new characters, Ducky and Bunny. Keanu Reeves playing Duke KABOOM is incredible. And of course you got Forky, who is the most pivotal aspect of this movie, who is really bringing Woody throughout this entire journey that he is learning through, and also this just existential crisis that Forky is going through in this movie, which I think is genius, and they do a really great job. He is also hilarious in this movie, and I think this character is what really separates this movie from the rest of the movies. And if you look at all of the movies in this series and you see just kind of the plots that they really go for, it's really about these toys going on an adventure away from their kid, and it's really that journey of getting back to them. The first movie did that, the second movie also did that, and the third movie, of course, did that, but also had the element of saying goodbye to that kid because he has grown up and really striving to really make a connection with him again. And this movie does something completely different, and it's the purpose of why these toys are doing it. What is a toy's purpose? Why are they here? Why are they sentient? Why do they do the things that they do? And why is it so important for Woody to get back to Bonnie with Forky all together with nothing bad happening to Forky along the way? But I think this is what really separates this movie from all the others. And like I said, guys, I was really nervous about this movie walking in, and for the first about 30 minutes, it really does just feel like yet another adventure with these characters that you really didn't need. At least you feel like you don't need it at first, because it feels like, you've seen it before. It's a little mixture of the plotline of the first Toy Story and the second one kind of mashed together. But once you get through that and you figure out why they're setting up the things that they're doing and how it really turns into something completely different, that is when this movie feels so needed, and how it wraps up Woody's storyline, and I think it is fantastic. And one of the other praiseworthy aspects of this movie is the villain character, I guess you can say. And I know the first movie didn't really have a villain. They had Sid, who was kind of the one, causing all the problems, but it was really that conflict between Woody and Buzz that was the entire movie. That was the plot. That was the central conflict. The second one had the prospector, and the third one, of course, had Lots of the Bear. This one has Gabby, and she is such a deep and such a layered character, and I really liked how they incorporated her with the story of Woody and what she was going for, and the really also what is just a theme throughout this entire movie is the why. Why are the characters doing what they do? And I think that is what this movie does really well, is answering that the most pivotal and most deep question you can possibly ask, which is the why. And of course, if you guys have followed this channel for any length of time, you know I am a horror junkie. And this movie has some creepy scenes in it, which I absolutely love that they incorporated. They had some really great references to some old horror movies that I loved. If you know the references, you will get it right away. But it is great. Everything that they did with this movie is great. I love yet another Toy Story movie. There are 4 Toy Story movies now. I think this is also, along with the third one, 2 great endings. I think I read one article saying that Toy Story 3 is the great finale, but this is also a really good epilogue to that finale and how it wraps up these storylines. So I think definitely, guys, go check out this movie if you're a Toy Story fan, or really, this movie's really for everyone. Anybody can go into this movie and have fun. That is why the Toy Story movies always have such a high Rotten Tomatoes. That is why I love them so much, because they're so relatable. You can't really go wrong with Toy Story. It's always such a fun adventure, and this one is quite funny. It's quite emotional. You'll have a great time in the theater, and for some reason I saw it in Dolby, because why not? Just go see this movie. It deserves to be seen. I'm really happy that they did a Toy Story 4. Although I would have been happy with the ending at 3, this also was a crushing ending. I did tear up. Yes, just the music starts and I get teary-eyed. So yeah, that is my Toy Story 4 review. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and you leave a like. Also, thank you for 100 subscribers. That is awesome. And make sure you guys comment below what you thought of this movie. If y'all enjoyed it, please let me know what you thought down in the comments. So thanks guys for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next review.